Hello traders, it's Rafa from fundedtrader.com. I'm doing this video to let's take a look at how the indicator performed for a whole week in the NASDAQ. So let's do last week, and I removed the price levels because those are, of course, they're going to look perfect because they're updated to date when everything happened already. So let's do this replay. Monday the 26th of October, okay? All right, so this is started already. The settings are the usual that I show you on the video tutorial. And I kept only the indicators I found the most useful right now. So I got the volume value areas, okay? So that's the one where any signal is gonna show up in the pink one if it's a sell, and any buy signal is gonna show up only if the candles touch the buy volume area, okay? So no signals when we are in the average. This is the medium of HAL set as 50. In the video tutorials, all the informations are in there. I kept the VWAP for the day, 90 days. I kept the VPOC and the pivots. I find very useful the pivots as well. So this is Monday, 26th of October. This my indicator is able to auto trade, but it's a little. It takes too many trades basically. So I recommend, and I do it personally by hand. So it's a discretional, but with the help of the indicator to tell us when volumes are creating a divergence. So here is a signal. Let me stop the replay. Okay, I'm gonna keep this at hand somewhere. It's really ugly, isn't it? Okay, so here's our first signal. The blue candle here. All right, so it does get that's a signal which is confirmed when, so it's a buy signal. I just looking at the body here, okay? So I want another candle to have a body that closes above my first one, my first body. So here it is, okay? So I would have bought here at 11,618 with the stop 10 points of risk, okay? Let's have a look what happens after. And as a take profit, was one rotation of NASDAQ. I don't really know it too well, so I always set either an important level or 2 rotations, one of the pivots, stuff like that. And then also let's say, okay, so this one got stopped. Let's keep a note of it. I'm gonna put it up there. Is minus 10. Fair enough. It's okay, you know, when you have you need to take your chances in trading, and it's okay to lose. What is not okay is to keep moving your stop loss and taking a really large loss. You see now the price kept moving down. That was a little bit early actually. I wouldn't have traded. I wouldn't take trades those early in the night in the Asian session. So it keeps moving. Let me speed it up a bit. Let me speed it up until we see something interesting. So now the European market opened. Okay, there was a signal down here just 1 hour before the. So I would say this is a good signal. So I would take, that's a good signal and it's validated here at this point. Okay, so if you want to take this trade, perhaps the stop loss down here. Okay, that's 30 points risk. So I would have probably entered long there. Whoa, okay. So stop this, too fast. So we were at, suppose I would have taken the trade at 11,573. And let's say I take profit here at the first pivot, okay? If you have more than one contract or if you have a larger size, you can scale in. Remember, this is a strategy that shows you movements on the ABC pattern. So we could have considered this a first leg. This leg was way too big though to just be considered a B. So I wouldn't have, and you shouldn't add anything here because it's still not sure of where it's gonna go. So suppose I just consider the profit all the way to the pivot, 11,573, 11,627, about 60 points. Okay. And now it's not a proper back test, but that's how the strategy works. It's not fully automatic. Okay, so slightly later on, let me go back a little. Okay, so I got this signal to short. It's quite a large candle. This was a strong move up. It went all the way to pivot R1. Don't expect to take all profit on every single move, of course, otherwise it would have been 70 points more. So this is a nice signal to perhaps exit the trade. It shows that there is some divergence, so you don't know what's going to happen. There is uncertainty at least. So at that point in time, it's not confirmed yet. Okay, so here is another signal again on this candle here as well, and this is confirming that movement. We are below the pivot P. I would have probably, let's say there is a decent amount of risk to trade, and I take this trade here, 11,624, but the stop loss cannot be that wide. So while it's the 50 points I already made, it should go really all the way up there. So I don't know if that was a trade I would have already taken, but price started moving nicely. So my entry was 11,600. Let's see where it goes to. At this stage, obviously, you move your stop loss to break even, right? So there is no risk. That's a VWAP 90 days. That's definitely a profit taking place. Okay, so I'm just trying to be realistic, and if then I know that when you're trading, perhaps you get too many different inputs. I definitely say this is a good trade. This signal here was for the price to move up, so bullish signal, but not confirmed. When it doesn't validate a signal, it's actually telling you that even though there is divergence, somebody in the market is really trying to push price on the other direction. So it's a confirmation of the short trend, the bearish trend. So 11,600, 11,486, let's say 100 points, which is brilliant. I didn't just pick and choose days. Is I don't know, anything can happen. Let's see. So there was a wide stop loss, but there was also a nice profit to be taking. And price just kept moving down. Let's see until it gives us a different chance. So obviously the large move was on the US Open. Now we have another signal. Let's see if it closes this candle above. Yes, it did. So this is a good signal to enter long here, just below VWAP 90 days. So that's cool. And the stop loss will be down here somewhere. I always like to keep a bit of a space from the lower low, as they might be hunting stop losses, stop limit orders. So it's about 40 point risk. Let's play it. Right now it's moving the chart with my, okay. So that's probably hit the stop loss. I mark it up, minus 40. Okay. Ouch. It's back. Nice. I wanted to erase this. So again, more bullish signals, not valid, any of them. When there is a bull scene, obviously, you know this candle chart formation. If it's a candle with a really low, big wick below, but a small body, is a sign that price may turn around. The good thing is that this indicator keeps you safe because you're not jumping on this trade, okay? Not yet. Actually, the fact that the price broke below is a sign that you shouldn't really take the trade. So let's see how it develops. I'm not too strict with a couple of ticks, but right now, yes, now that's definitely gone. It needs to validate this signal. Still not doing it. Okay, now this one is a beautiful candle. We are already all the way down to pivot S4, so probably a really good place where to buy. It's true that the cumulative delta is very negative, minus 12,000, so scary place to enter long, but the stop loss isn't too wide. Let's see when this candle closes. Okay, closes up there. I really want to enter long here because I have plenty of signals. This one is the only one that got validated. Let's see, 11,415. That's a really wide stop loss, I believe. It's quite a lot of points, isn't it? NASDAQ. So I would like to take an entry, wait for this to rotate slightly, and take an entry down here to get a better price. Okay, but eventually just enter anyway, as long as you are in your stop loss. So let's draw a line here. All right, let's say we enter at 11,410 and the stop loss 11,320, almost 100 points. Let's take a look. And the target definitely mid of day or VWAP 90 days, VWAP for the day. These are all very good levels. If you dare get closer to the, even up here to the open of US session or pivot S1, the average of HAL as well. I'll say if you get it all the way to VWAP day, VWAP 90 days is a great result already. Then perhaps you can have a runner. That's depends on your contract size. With the challenges, it's tricky because risk is small, but it's good to always keep a runner. Now here is looking really good. You see price is above, is on the best side of the medium average of HAL on 50, okay, and is closing already above. So I like that as protection. If I'm tight with my risk, I can move my stop loss now. That's what I would actually do. Is a bit scary, as long as it's below the medium of HAL. Okay. Let's take a look. If I get stopped out. Okay, nice. So that's my take profit. Don't be greedy. Always stay humble. So suppose you enter here 11,413, 85 plus let's say plus 70, and I can delete all this stuff. Perhaps you're good, better than me, and you have a runner there. See, price keeps turning around, and now we are getting close to the close of market for the day. So day one on the 26th of October is plus 180, and you saw I've been rather conservative. Okay, you can't really say I was taking the best entry and the best exit. I just took what the indicator gave. Is that what they said? Leave me any feedback if it's something I can improve on this. I'm just learning with you, trying to do. Okay, I'm going to speed it up. Let's see on the next day what happens. And I normally don't trade the first until 5 a.m. European time. So I'm going to leave these signals there just to make it a bit more realistic. I may miss out on some great chances, of course, but okay, I'm going to slow it down as soon as I get a signal. Here is morning, European open, getting close. All right, so here we go. This is the first signal for the day. Let's see. It's a nice signal to short. We are above pivot P, so it's not ideal, but I always prefer to be, but this is a counter trend, so you can't expect it to be in the short area already to short it. We are just above the medium of high. There is not much the information here, but let's trust the indicator. So here is 11,520. Here is the entry, and the stop loss is 30 points away. don't know how to. I think if I keep it here, it's not going to move around. Let's have a look. Okay, you see why I say about keeping a bit of extra space. I don't know. Could I got stopped out? Maybe not, but I would have re-entered anyway. Let's keep it running. Let's suppose I got lucky. Okay, when you have an extra signal like that, now it is it's good. It's looking good, confirming the plan. And the take profit will be down there somewhere. Okay, so now we got stopped out. That's minus 30 points. Don't despair, if you get stopped out. First of all, you're keeping your loss small, which is brilliant already. Is already being a good trader. Second, you're taking very few trades, which again is being a good trader. And you might get a better chance later, so maybe it's gonna go to a better price to sell. So it did move in the other direction, not so much pace on that. Okay, so it's turning around a bit now. You see there is a buy signal, which got a large wick below the pivot P but didn't make it. Here we are getting close to the US Open already. Last week was the week before presidential election, so, and very news driven, not really the best example. So I'm not taking an easy place here. So yes, because of the change of time, this was US Open last week. So a bit of madness here, first half an hour, and then a nice signal to short. I don't know if I would have taken it there, right on the open like that. A bit spooky. This candle here is okay. Let's see the next one. Let's say I waited for the next one to close. Okay. Perhaps I would have taken it here. Let's say I set my order at pivot, so 11,500, risk 90 points, which is a lot, but it all depends on your risk and your size. Wow, okay. Okay, so that got stopped out. Let's consider a minus 90, 100, how much was it? Let's see if this, no, so it did look like you wanted to confirm the short, but you see invalidated there. Let's see now that there is another signal to short. That's very important, okay? It's very important. Not just short it as soon as you see the pink candle. Wait for the body to close below, and you'll see very often it closes, or well, that's the open, of course, so it's at the same level. So close of this candle, open of this one, and okay, this one is my signal to enter. We are very close to the medium of hull. I had many signals to short, so this is definitely one that I like. 11,560, stop loss 11,630, 70 points risk. And I don't know, but stop loss, maybe keep trailing the stop loss and aim at the pivot S1 if you get a nice move down. Here we're getting towards the close of the market. Okay, this is getting really risky. So that's really close to the close of market. This is already close of US. So to be honest, when this came down here to VWAP for the day again, that was my entry. I would have scratched this trade. So The day is over and is minus 130. Okay. And that's especially because on the challenges there are nearly no funders who allow you to trade, to hold the trades overnight. Okay, let's look at the Wednesday 28. So waiting. This is the beginning of a couple of hours before European Open. That's a good time to start trading. So I'm here on the markets, I'm here on the charts. I think this is a nice signal. I definitely like to take this, also because it's protected by the medium of hull. If I need to, this is really nice. This is if you manage to get to be on the right side of the medium of hull already when you want to enter your trade, it is perfect. So 11,540 and stop loss. Well, there is VWAP 90 days there. If I can afford it, below that. 60 points risk. Okay. It's a slow market as well. And I'll say, because it's so early in the day, perhaps half the exit at the first pivot and half at the second. But I'll definitely have more levels on this chart than that. So that's really up to you. Okay, so this channel to this signal to short. Let's see if it gets confirmed. Yes, it gets confirmed there. So, of course, now here we're going really fast, but that's 45 minutes later. If I see this, definitely tighten up my stop loss, at least here, or let's say here, 510. So it's only 30 points risk. Okay, so I got stopped out. Let's say minus 40. Keep playing. You see how well it bounces off the VWAP 90 days and it goes a little further. Now it's playing with the medium of hull, and that's it. That's a really nice move for the day. Obviously, that was a signal that I could have taken as a short. So it was actually a good 70 points, but okay, who knows? It was a valid signal for 70 points though. You know what? For the stats, let's keep it there. You see this one. Enter here, exit at the pivot. Not a difficult trade really. So it's taking a long while to validate that signal. I don't know if I can rely much on it when it's taking so long. It's a lot of candles there. They're all inside bars. Yeah, so here is another signal. Let's see. Very important. You need to see the body closing above before you take it, okay? Because it might just as a matter of fact, confirm that price wants to go down. If it breaks it below, that could be a good idea to just enter short. That's a trend following, is a whole different animal. So remember that, imagine how many chances you would have got of entering long in here, especially on the day. You see this price action, you enter long, you get stopped out. You see this price action, you enter long, get stopped out up there. But thanks to the indicator, is keeping you safe and avoid overtrading, which is very costly at the end of the day. So just keep observing it. Here is the US Open. Everything goes nuts as usual. Okay, we have a signal there. We have another signal, which is even better. And we are already on pivot S4. Really is a tricky day, by now you see it's a trendy day. You didn't get your chance to jump on it. Perhaps it's best if you close your platform and wait for another day. But just for the sake of this analysis, so here is struggling a bit. I like very much this candle. Made a new low, has a very long wick. The body is above the pivot. So I'm ready to take this trade if my risk allows it. Okay, so that body closed above the signal. So let's give it a go. Suppose you take your trade here, 250 something. As I always recommend, you could wait, see a small rotation and grab it at the pivot, but let's not. So 60, 70 points risk, which is quite a lot, and take profit at VWAP day or the next following pivot, depending on the pace. It's not looking good. Okay, that's another nice signal that gets validated. Now we are getting about the medium of hull, struggling. Okay. When it's live, if I see this action, I kind of start getting concerned. You can just scrap it, but it's important that you keep the stop loss where it is, to be honest. Obviously, you manage your account best. Is doing this, I make sure to stay in the trade, so keep your stop loss down here. It's getting a little scary. Okay, I got stopped out. That's 80 points. That's a shame. But you see, all of this is the market, is the auction bringing the price to a cheaper price to buy. So as long as you stay in your risk and you can still trade. This is just the first few hours of US market, so anything happens, and you're gonna get an even better chance possibly, because but of course you need to be careful trying to counter trend such a rotational day. So now we are above medium of hull. Let's see if we get a nice chance. Okay, I like this. If I can still trade 11 to 10, stop loss below the medium of hull, and all the rest is 60 points stop loss. Now don't put your target depending on how many points you want to make, okay? Your target and your stop loss always go with a technical reason. So it's going to be an important level, the volume, value area, or number of rotations. But don't just set it where you want it to go, because market doesn't know about your account. Now I'm quite confident with this. We're already below pivot S4, and is the moment when the market takes a bit of a rest before the close. We're getting really close to the close of market, so I would either tighten the stop loss or scratch this trade altogether. I'm getting edgy just looking at this, so I put it below the close of my signals. Okay, at this stage, definitely stop loss is break even, so basically everything is there, both the entry and but it's only about it's very little time missing until the close. If it gets to the VWAP day, definitely take profit there. Okay, go stopped out, fine. All right, let's consider it a scratch that trade, which is a bit of a shame because it looked good, but it's okay, better than a loss. So what are we here? Minus 50. So we are even for the week from the look. Yeah, then it crashed a bit. So the last hour of US market is always very edgy. Now we move on to the next day. Let me speed it up. Speed up, speed up, speed up, speed up until 6 in the morning or so. Okay, little slower now. This is too early for me. It's difficult to heavy trading on the automatic strategy. While we really need to wait for candles to close and see how it develops. Maybe it's my mentality of a discretional trader that doesn't help me. So none of these signals is valid. Okay, you see no candle closed below. As soon as it happens though, this is going to be a big trade. Definitely one I have trust in it. And these candles are really tiny. What to do? I will wait for another one to close below before entering. Okay, this one closed below, it closes below the medium of HAL as well. Say I take my entry here, 11 to 50. This is a short. Stop loss up here. So from 240 to 280, 80 points stop loss. I use the pivot P as protection with a bit of a cushion there. Take profit. Well, pivot S1 is really far away. This is the low for the day. Could say down at the open is a good place to take half profit, or the low from yesterday. Okay, let's say the low of yesterday. Okay, this got stopped out, so it was 40 points. Let's see what happens next. This one looks like a good signal. Let's see if it gets, that's valid. It's a good signal. It's true that it's an inside candle from that one. So ideally, you wait for a lower price than this candle, and also because it's pivot P. So I will wait a little further. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I like this. It's below the pivot, below the medium of HAL, and also getting to the level wanted to short earlier. Perhaps this was just an excursion to get a better price to sell for the market. We're getting close to the European Open. Depends also on the news on the day, or the data. So it's just an exercise. Short 11 to 60, 50 points risk. And the profit is down here. So over 100. Turning around, is messing about with the medium of HAL and the pivot. Okay, I recommend keeping the stop loss where the signal is, okay, because that's very important. Would be tempted, move the stop loss down here, about the medium of HAL and the pivot P, but we are below the medium of HAL, so I leave it where it is. That's a VWAP for the day, the pinky line. That's not very relevant as yet because it's very early in the day. Okay, we have a nice signal to short in there, so I'm glad I didn't move my stop loss. And I'm still on the same idea. This is the European market opened, made an excursion up and is making higher lows. Definitely move the stop loss here at these other signals, so it's a little closer. Let's see what happens. It's looking good, keeps going down. So now is at the open. As I said earlier, that could have been half. Take profit on half your trade, but I'm just supposing I have only one. I could I put my stop loss just here above the pivot. This is my entry, okay. So the lower of yesterday is almost there. Here we are at lunchtime, European lunchtime. This looks like just a rotation. I move my stop loss in profit about the medium of HAL. Okay, now is struggling, is testing the medium of HAL 1-2 times. Seems like he wants to come back up, but it's not enough information to close the trade there, so I keep it running. Ouch. Okay, so this was the level where I should have taken profit, fine, fair enough. We need to make the most of our trades. Small profit, say 10 points, just really pro forma. So let's see what happens next. So I came back up to pivot. I'm surprised I didn't have a signal to buy in there, probably on the 5 minutes chart. Sometimes I find it useful to check, as long as you don't end up being tempted by the 5 minutes chart to overtrade. Here's a signal, but it's already cancelled by that price moving up. It's no problem. Don't enter, don't enter, don't enter, don't enter, don't enter. All of this game is keeping you safe. Here is the we are at about lunchtime US. So price is just going up now. See the importance of staying safe in a day like this. You never know, like how the trend changed. That was a really good signal. Shame I didn't profit much from it. But now we're getting many more. Always need to be sure that you know what time it is as well. So that's lunchtime, and from my experience, price can do like to turn around the price time when at lunchtime a bit. But here it's just pushing. I think there was some news on that day, definitely on the 29 on stimulus or whatnot. So it just made a really nice push up. You see, go really close to VWAP 90 days again. Not surprisingly, it rotates, but only to the pivot. Let's see if it gives us a validation and the chance to enter this trade. Okay, it's validated. Let's see what happens. Cumulative delta is very low still, even though there has been such a nice large move. I would have shorted here when this retraced there. Protection above 90 days, 60 points. Let's see what happens. Take profit at the VWAP day, not further than that, definitely. Here we are already getting close to the US market closing time. Okay, bit tricky to take maybe. That was a really nice move down from the signal. Difficult to know where to close it. I think that's the closing of market. Okay. Suppose I manage not to panic and close it earlier on. At this stage, definitely move the stop loss here with that break even, basically paying commissions and that. Let's see if it gets to the VWAP for the day and take profit here. Come on, just one spike. Okay, is it closing on market? I think it was. So say when it got back here, you see with the right stop loss, didn't get thrown out of the trade. So suppose 11,330, so not to be too optimistic, 70, that's 90 points. So we add it here, 9, 10, minus 4, so plus 60. And you see, there is not, I'm not taking a crazy amount of trades every day. Okay, so as a matter of fact, it did reach VWAP for the day. So anyway, I stick to those points. I believe the total was for the week was plus 60. Sorry, I had a bit of a mess with this recording software and the pen. So here we are on Friday. What I wanted to underline about Thursday, this was a really difficult day to trade. See, had a bearish trend until European lunchtime, a couple of hours before US Open. Then it started moving up. Quite a few signals about going short. If you stick to the signals from my indicator, is keeping you on the safe side. So this was a profitable trade, and then there were no trades until the highly profitable one at the end of the day. Even if you don't take them because a stop loss is too wide or risky or not, which wasn't on this occasion, especially with a nice protection from resistance, VWAP 90 days. At least it's keeping you safe. It's not telling you to take many trades when there is no reason. So I'll let it go a bit faster until about 6 a.m. or so. Okay, so we are a couple of hours before European Open. Let's slow it down. Here is 2 hours before European Open. I really like this action. Okay, 1, 2, 3 signals. You see here is the green arrow and the dot. So here it breaks. It's a new high, 1175, let's say. So that's our entry. Here is a stop loss, 50 points, 55 points stop loss, and the profit could be, well, either at the open or the pivot. I like the idea of this reaching the pivot. Let's speed it up. So these are still inside bars. It's moving above the medium of Hull just before the European Open. Probably there were data as well releases. So this is looking good. Everything is looking good. Let's move the stop loss just really tight here below the pivot and below the body of the signal. So this is looking good. If it does rotate all the way to the medium of Hull, that's your chance to take another entry. Okay, that's the open for the day. So you could take profit here. That's 40 points, or let you run. Definitely tighten the stop loss here, so you're at break even. So the entry was 75, and now we're getting really close to the pivot. Let's say we take profit now, right now where we are, because I don't care. Say 235 from 75, that's 60 points. It may just keep going all day, you know, so it's good to have a runner and stuff. you can take this signal if it's validated as either reverse it or just exit the trade. But this is a nice move. I mean, this is a brilliant move to take, right? So you don't have anything to regret, even if he came back to the pivot, he closed this, got back to the closing from last night. So brilliant, perfect, really good trade. So now here is another signal to short, so we could consider this is lunchtime Europe. I don't know, it's not confirming it, it's really struggling. Okay, so here is our signal to take. Well, let's take it. It's just closed in there. I mean, I would be done for the day. That's your profit. Anyway, let's gamble these 60 points, this profit that we made. Take profit at the pivot S1. I don't know, I don't like this idea. Okay, now there is another short signal. That's interesting. And we are still below the pivot P. Now that's validated as well. No, that's it. Stopped out. Okay. Minus 60. That's okay. Let's keep watching what happens next. Okay, so that was just a week. So that's a US Open. That's why. No, to be honest, I wouldn't have taken that trade. I mean, just there at the US Open, or maybe yes, just leave it. So go stopped out is unfortunate because that's really, you see why I say always keep a bit of space. That was a massive trade, look at that. Perhaps you get a chance to re-enter here when you see this breaking below the medium of high with strength at the US Open, and it did go all the way to the pivot, so that's a really nice signal. So okay, this went a little too fast, but it's just right to say that if I entered here, I got stopped out, I don't have any reason not to re-enter, beside the fact that there is a lot of risk to take. The stop loss is quite wide, but let's say 1160. Of course, the stop loss is really wide, but the profit, we could have taken it here as one at the next pivot. So that's 100 points, and it's fair to say that was a good signal and validated and a good trade idea. So that was a nice short for profit. Let's see what happens. So this is an American market on Friday before the presidential election. I mean, it can't be any harder than that, really. Definitely limit your trading in such day. So these are signals to enter long, but not confirmed, not confirmed. Now these are tiny inside bars, kind of. We could see when it closes. Okay, so everything regrouped. It's not just one, but 4 signals. Is above pivot S1. So we should take this trade about 1150 and the stop loss down here, unfortunately. So 90 points risk. Well, that's the volatility. these days, and take profit. Don't know, VWAP for the day, medium of hull, or just trail it as quick as possible. Okay, I don't want it to move much lower than that, really. A rotation is for an ABC is only maximum to the half of it. Is moving a lot, but that could be your second entry. Okay, this rotation here, that's your chance to enter again, to scale in. Ouch. Okay, stopped out. That's a shame. 100 points. Oh goodness. If you can withstand this, I mean, personally, with that plus 100 there, my platform was already, I was already on my mountain bike, not trading this ugly market. So the American market, of course, is when possibly most of you get up, but is a difficult market to trade. Let's see what happens again. Another signal to go long. Okay, it's about to get validated, and we're getting really close to the getting on the right side of the medium of file, but no, I don't like this. Being closed below that is not valid for me. Okay, but here we have another signal. See, it's no coincidence that it closed at the exact same price. Yes, it made a higher wick. To me, it needs to close above the medium of hull and above the signal to be tradable. All right, this one we like it. So it's about 1100. Stop loss down here. So 70 points risk. What time is it? We're already getting close to the close of market. I'll target the VWAP for the day, unless it shoots up like a rocket. This is the end of the week as well. Oh, wow. Okay. That was good. I said I would take profit at the VWAP for the day. Now I'm really tired. It's my 12 hours on the charts. So from here, from 1100, 11,000 to 11,060. So it's a plus 60 here. Okay, so this is the week, and here is about to close the market. So let's see what happens. Just out of curiosity, it does struggle to get away from the VWAP for the day, and then it may skyrocket up. Can't do anything. Okay, that's it. So I tried to see how I would have traded it. So plus 60 was on the other 4 days. Today we amazingly made profit and lost it, made it and lost it again, and plus 60. So for the week of 26th of October, NASDAQ plus 120 points. Okay,